Okay, so here we are, week
11.
Week 11, and for the sake of this weekly blog, let's just start with the stats. What's your body weight, approximate body fat percentage? Let's start there.
Body weight's in at 166 now. Body fat percentage somewhere between 10 and 12%.
10 and 12, guesstimation. Okay. And let's talk about your physique. How do you feel as though your progress has been over the last, it's now been 10 days since our last blog, or 10 or 11 days. How do you feel the progress has been since then?
I feel these last 2 weeks, or the last 14 days, I've really seen kind of big changes now.
Right, getting harder.
Waistline starting to tighten in, some vascularity really starting to come out, some just definition at a standpoint in a relaxed position without having to flex, really starting to see some good separation in those points.
What I see from my perspective is not only are you're definitely harder, in fact, you can see it clearly in the video, the week-to-week video, but also your poses. Your lat spread is pretty much, I agree, probably a B+ at this point, which is pretty good. And you were having a lot of trouble with that. Plus, it just looks better because you're harder.
Yeah.
So you get
my waistline's tapered in.
Exactly. So you get away with an error in that pose. But
it's one thing, the posing too has been something that's been getting worked on. So.
Right, and in week to week, just like with the training, your posing requires the same sort of work ethic week to week. And some of these poses, like lat spread, it's not an ergonomic position to be in.
No, it's not very comfortable.
No.
It's not natural.
Most people, if they try and do that, they see a bodybuilder do it on stage and they go to do it on their own, you're just going to look simply look goofy doing it.
Yeah.
It takes, there's physical capabilities in your shoulders that you need, and the flexibility to stay up with it. So I physically am incapable of doing lat spread.
Yeah, that was, especially that one in general, was one that was tough for me.
Right.
That I spent a lot of time really trying to focus on. But
right. So we've seen tremendous progress in the lat spread. We see tremendous progress in your front abdominal shots, whether it be in a most muscular, a traditional, or more of a hybrid, most muscular. We're seeing the top abdominals really start to come in. So we've looked at the most muscular today, and I was a little concerned about that and kind of the mechanics. I don't know, of all the poses, I think now that one has shifted to the one with the most concern. But that's something you just started working on too.
Yeah.
As you lean down, some poses, because you're smaller now, might not look as good as they did when they were thicker and fuller. So the best thing to do is figure out the mechanics, and not every pose is right for every bodybuilder too. But I do believe the most muscular is one of the mandatory poses that they will run you through side by side. So you got to make the best of it. There's different opinions on the mechanics of that pose, but that's probably one of the next few weeks that you want.
Yeah, and the posing is something that I really kicked up into gear over the past couple of weeks because being my first show, an amateur at this, that's something that I don't have experience in.
Right.
That's been tough for me. That like you said, it's not natural stuff. It's not just stand there and flex your bicep.
Right, because anyone can throw a single arm bicep pose if you got a big arm, it looks good.
Yeah.
But you're not being compared to, well, you will be compared to everyone else hitting these poses properly, and you don't want to stand out as a goofball because they will subtract on your scorecard for that.
Absolutely. So that's been something that's been a big focus of mine, spending every day 20,
Right.
30 minutes trying to really just stand in front of the mirror and
Yeah.
watch myself.
Yeah.
That's the only way to do it. Kind of make sure, watching videos of past shows, of other
Right, we watched the video of
competitors.
the
last year's
the
IBF.
IBF, and some of those guys look really good. You're seeing kind of a mixed crowd with that. You're seeing some guys who are really doesn't look like they spent much time on their posing. They've spent a lot of time on their physiques, but not on the posing. And then you've seen the opposite guys who are really good at posing but don't have the physique or aren't conditioned. And those are the two things you can control.
Yeah,
your conditioning and your posing. Those are the two things you have absolute control over in a bodybuilding competition. And that's the constant theme of what we keep talking about week to week on the blog, is you can only worry about the things that you can control. Everything else, you just can't worry about. The judge's opinion, that's their opinion. But, show up and make sure you can hit all of your poses. And when you get on stage, you're going to be dried out. You're not going to be physically at your strongest, which is kind of weird when you think about bodybuilding competition. You're supposed to be presenting your strongest, the body that represents strength and fitness, and then there you are probably in your weakest state.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's what the sport is. But so to be able to go through a posing routine, not at your pace and not at my pace as I walk you through the poses, but at group of judges what their pace.
Yeah.
You'd be holding positions for 10, 15 seconds.
Yeah, and that's one thing that I've been kind of training for. I watched the videos, I watched how they did it. So my thing was to when I practice, I try to run through them all in a row. I try to make it smooth, run right from one to the next.
Right.
With the list of mandatory poses, and then watching the videos, kind of judging, how long they hold, trying to hold it for 20, 30 seconds.
Right. It could be that
as long
long
as I can, just to condition myself to be ready to hold something.
Right, because if you're on stage and you're holding a pose and you fatigue or you're sweating, and you will, it's going to be June 6th is the competition, correct?
June 9th.
June 9th. It's good. Every auditorium is going to be a sweltering heat pit, and you've got bodybuilding oil on you. The last thing you want to be doing is sweating and watch your tan run and watch your oil run everywhere. You just simply can't do this. You've got to be conditioned for posing. It seems kind of silly. People say, well, how could you not be deconditioned for flexing? But give it a try sometime, and then give it a try after you lost 30 pounds of pure body fat and are completely dehydrated.
Dehydrated a little bit,
So you're going to start cramping and all that stuff, so you really need to be conditioned for it. So
Absolutely. I mean, it's an isometric hold. It's a workout in itself.
Absolutely. Isometric holds are some of the most powerful holds for muscle stimulation.
Yeah.
And you're doing that for, probably, I would imagine, at least 15 minutes total during the pre-judging.
Yeah.
And then you've got to go through your routine, which is going to be 3 or 4 minutes of constant flexing. Yeah. So how long is the routine? 60-second routine, which is, that's tough.
Yeah.
Stand in the mirror, just hold a flex for 60 seconds and see what happens. You'll be exhausted. So that's been a focus over the last.
So that's been a big focus for me over the last few weeks. Considering the training in itself hasn't really changed, and lifting wise, I'm still the same routine I've been running through. Haven't added volume, haven't added anything. Still trying to lift for that strength and that mass gain.
Right.
The best I can to hold my strength in there as my calories go down, as my weight goes down.
Which will be best for holding muscle. Keep your, you're obviously trying to hit the same rep counts, although that might be unrealistic. You're keeping the weight pretty much the same and a few less reps here and there.
Here and there, where it has to. My goal is to hit what I did, at least what I did last week. If I taper off 1 or 2, I mean, it's the beast that comes with losing 13 pounds.
Sure, which is probably closer to, at this point, literally you're down 14 pounds. You're 160.
166. I was in my last weigh-in last Thursday, which was now 5 days.
Yeah, it was 5 days.
5 days ago.
Today is Tuesday, the 26th, 27th.
Yep.
March 27th.
So that was 166. So, even now I'm even probably a little less than that. And trying to just keep up with the weights that I was at before when I was up to 179, 180. It's tough.
It's tough, sure.
I'm doing my best. So
you haven't tapered off very much. So here we are. We're now a total of 4 weeks into this process, and you haven't lost that much. We do expect it to. I suspect when you're under 160, you're going to start really feeling the strength go down. But we'll see about that each week. Just
my cardio, as far as that's really the thing that's changed. Again, to try and keep my body from kind of just stalemating at one type of cardio.
Right.
Now,
and your goal is to change it right before you do hit a plateau.
Before I do hit that plateau.
Right.
Yeah, because we don't want to have a week where I'm not dropping, because that's going to set us back.
Right.
So, we kind of stay on top of things and change up that cardio before.
What sort of changes are we seeing? Volume changes or intensity changes?
Volume's still the same. We're at six times a week, 30 minutes. Now what we've done, instead of doing the treadmill at an incline, we're alternating between that and the other day doing a Stairmaster or step mill.
Right.
Whatever's available.
Okay. And that kind of just having something available different each day automatically gives you that variety too.
Yeah, it gives you a little different. So.
And as for dietary changes, what sort of have we seen a cut in calories since the last time?
Last week we dropped down to 2,000, and we actually stayed there the same because given the 3-pound loss last week,
right.
We kept the calories about the same now. So.
Right. And there is such a thing as it being too far ahead of the pace too. That is possible. It's probably better to be on that side of it than the other way around, but it is possible to cut calories too low.
Yeah, we don't want to lose too fast, And I know in talking with Dean, he mentioned, probably another week we're trying to keep that same weight loss and then start to slow it back.
Right.
Kind of.
So at that point, you're going
into
if you lose another couple pounds this week, and we suspect you will, that from thereafter will almost be a pound a week from week 10 at that point to week to the competition. Your goal is probably a pound a week at that point. But you do have to slow it down, or else you will begin to atrophy away, which defeats the whole purpose of bodybuilding.
Absolutely.
Try to stick and fold. So, okay. So, anything else you wanted to include here on week 11?
Week 11, said training, pretty consistent. Cardio, mix it up a little. Diet, dropped a few calories.
Any
supplements
cheating
to
whatsoever?
stay-
Have you stayed
Stay
dead on?
true.
You've been
Stay
spot on.
true, spot on. Not trying to cheat.
And
If I cheat and the other guy doesn't cheat even one time,
Right.
that could be the difference. Between
There's
Sean
something
right
you
there,
can
so.
control. And we spoke about this last week, and we said, if you want to develop a great physique, you're going to have to go to great measures to get there.
Yep.
And one of the big parts of doing this blog is to watch your body change each week that goes by. Not just for us having an archive of this, but to show Corey's clients that if you commit to doing something, your body will change week to week. And we're seeing it right in front of you. We will have the videos obviously interlaced into this video, and you guys can see it for yourselves. So it really does work.
It does.
All right, so that concludes week 11, and we'll see you all in 10 days because we won't be doing a blog. This one's on Tuesday. I'll be on vacation, and we'll go 10 days from now, which will be Friday, April 5th or 6th, something like that. So, okay, guys, we'll check you then. Peace.